Hello everyone, welcome to my midterm project where you will be joining me in my content analysis of Hearts United for Animals. So before we get started about talking about social media and analyzing HUA, I will refer to Hearts United for Animals as HUA, by the way, throughout the rest of the presentation. I thought it'd be smart to give you a brief history on who they are. So HUA is a state-of-the-art no-kill shelter and sanctuary dedicated to the relief of animal suffering. Up to date, they've rescued over at least 10,000 dogs from puppy mills. That's not the only thing that they do. They are not just a no-kill shelter and sanctuary. They also provide low-cost spay and neutering service for their patients. They provide housing for animals that are fly, dog, and foster. Facebook, Twitter, and populations from a wide action to grow. One of them, family, or friends with. She just important for families for them to understand why these pets need adopted, why they need donations, what's going on within their shelter so they can advertise out. So high emotional appeal, very informative, very personable, and passionate. Obviously, you will see later in a couple of their hashtags that they commonly use and kind of their mantra and their call to action, why they're so passionate. They keep their posts very personable. On Facebook, their posts are very much longer than you would see on their other platforms. Obviously, this is kind of a natural thing that we see with social media and comparing. They're very informative but very personable as well. HUA wants to be seen as a companion just as well as the companions that they're actually advertising and giving to families across the world. So they have brand associations both locally and nationally. They host a lot of events, or they tag team in a lot of events, like at Momo's Pizzeria coming up here soon. Actually, a lot of events at Ralston and Rio, and right now they're actually partnered with Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Two screenshots here of content that I think that they're doing very, very well. The left-hand side, you're going to see the We've Been Adopted. That's a Facebook post that they had. They're actually including the names of the pets and highlighting these families. I think this is really impactful. Later, I'll talk about how I wish that they would expand this a little bit on their social to get more impact. On the right-hand side is they don't have many of posts of this nature that are short, sweet, to the point, but I think this is a really impactful post as well with these two little chihuahuas. They're called chihuahuas, but that's what I call them, and their profiles on HUA.org. Continuing with our analysis, their messaging is very adopt, don't shop mentality, meaning do not go out and buy a multi-hundred dollar dog when you could actually be giving a life to a pet that is in need that you could adopt and raise as well. They're very philanthropic, obviously being a not-for-profit. They engage in a lot of activities, a lot of events, a lot of campaigns as well. Informative and friendly, like we talked about, yet urgent, because even though they're a no-kill shelter, each dog deserves a family and they deserve it as soon as they possibly can, so they're not in a shelter their whole lives. They treat their customers like friends. Also speaking to the medium that they are in, they family dogs have certain personalities. They kind of mirror that as well. They have real-time customer service and interactivity. I have not yet tried sending them a message on Twitter to see exactly what their response rate is on there, but I'm sure that it's very good, as is their Facebook. Frequency, so I've been watching them for about a week now, as we were assigned. So on Facebook, they've been doing approximately 6 to 7 posts per week. However, I think at least 2 of those days it was multiple posts a day, so not a post every day. Twitter, approximately 3 to 4 a week. This just depends on if there are any events or if how many animals that they have that they need to advertise to get adopted as well. Most of their Twitter content is connected through Facebook, so they're obviously using some type of either the multi-share mechanism that Facebook has, or they're using a marketing management solution like Hootsuite or something, so they can schedule those tweets and those Instagram or Facebook posts as well. On the left-hand side here, you'll see is a reply to actually one of their Facebook posts. It is from a family, and I think this ties into what I'm going to be talking about later, some more testimonials with live footage, where they were kind of thing. I think it's really great, and a lot of interactivity with that as well. On the right hand side is the brand association I was speaking to earlier with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a way for customers to actually purchase something like tickets to games where they actually, it's something that they want to do, but they're also in turn helping the organizations. They're helping HUA, which is, in some sort of way, in a roundabout way, focused on donations. So HUA's call to action. Talked about it earlier. Adopt, don't shop. That's probably their number one. However, if you visit their website, which I highly encourage you do, there's links here in my sources page. They have kind of 7 pillars for their call to action. One being donate, usually monetarily, donating time as well, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. They have Cafe Press merchandise where this Adopt Don't Shop or their HUA logo is actually featured. So if customers can purchase this merchandise, and in turn this money gets funneled over into the operations of HUA. They also have Amazon shopping lists. You can actually choose their organization, and so your purchases, 5% of your purchases go towards HUA. They also have a wish list where they're currently always needing things for their organization to help it run, to help their animals get better if they're sick, or to feed them, and so on and so forth. Also, being a nonprofit, of course, they have a pillar that is for volunteering. So volunteering time, efforts, you name it, to help their organization succeed. So to my recommendation, I put more frequent content just because a lot of those posts were multiple times a day, and I think that also depends on how many animals that you really need to publicize to get adopted as soon as you can. Keeping posts short, sweet, and to the point. Here on the bottom is just a couple of screenshots that I took from Twitter content with the adopt, don't shop mentality. Super sweet, but you get the point. You get why they need love. The best part of the day, there's a lot of different ways that HUA could incorporate this short and sweet messaging to get clients or customers to either donate or adopt, using even verbiage or just this kind of narrative to either donate, adopt, or urgent. Obviously it's a no-kill shelter, so the urgency isn't as much there as it is in those that do have kill shelters, or are on their last week, are going to get euthanized. But it's definitely important for HUA to designate which one of those 3 they'd really like to do. I think also earlier I showed a couple of screenshots. I think highlighting family adoption testimonials with images, this helps the organization close the loop. So if they posted about this animal, they take them off their website once they're adopted, being able to show where they are, what they do, their favorite toy, what they did this weekend is really impactful, and that can also still be short and sweet as well. Using content, overall, the goal is to use social content to garner donations and find home for these animals. I think it would be really valuable for HUA to come up with a schedule designating certain days of the week towards a certain initiative, whether it be Family Fridays, finding dogs that are in with their families, or Where Were They Wednesdays, or events on Saturdays or something where they had a concrete schedule where they could shine a light on the different initiatives that they do in order to, once again, garner donations and find homes. Thank you for queuing in. Here is my sources page. Please look into HUA, consider donating and following them on all social media. Thank you.